next weekend, Saturday, the 14th of January, we got an ESPN card. FA Ajagba versus Stephen Shaw, or Stephen Shaw, sorry, I should say. I think that's the correct pronunciation. Alex, go on, just give us your thoughts on this, on both these guys.
Yeah, so Ajagba used to be with PBC, was known as this monster crazy puncher. Leaves PBC, goes over to Top Rank, keeps that reputation up. However, they put him on the Wilder versus Fury card, and he gets outclassed against Frank Sanchez, who we know is a top level heavyweight boxer. So now he's going against another gentleman who's known as a pretty good boxer, Stephen Shaw. Another guy used to be with PBC, ran into issues. You know, someone said something on his behalf that basically got him blacklisted, put him on ice. But has signed with Top Rank and has looked very good. Both of them, both of them are seen as, these maybe older prospects in the heavyweight division, but Top Rank has a lot of heavyweights. They have Jared Anderson, they have Tyson Fury, among others. So this is a really good matchup and basically sees who is going to be moving forward to contender level and who's going to be left behind. I look forward to it. I'm tuning in. I've never seen Stephen Shaw fight. However, I always hear very good things. So yeah, definitely. I'm just gonna go with my American Shaw. I'm gonna go majority decision. I'm gonna be specific. I'm gonna put sprinkle a little cash on it, man. We want to be specific with these predictions. So yeah, MD Shaw. Let's go.
Nice. All right, give us your thoughts on this one, Josh.
Yeah, I know Bods and I were talking about this matchup a little while back. I couldn't remember for sure if I had seen Shaw, and I still don't know to this point if I have actually. But that being said, looking at his record, some of the individuals he's been in with or whatever, no, I think that, of course, it kind of matches with the Jagba, who Frank Sanchez, of course, is probably the marquee opponent between the two. And Frank Sanchez actually was able to handle the Ajagba. I won't say easy, but he did well in terms of his strengths, and that got him to victory. And Ajagba, of course, is another one of these guys who was viewed as a monster here on the come up. It was all but written that he would be the next heavyweight contender of the world for one of those titles at least. And Frank Sanchez kind of brought that back down to earth. And Ajagba, he still, of course, can punch, but we'll see how he does if someone opts to actually box and move on him and he can't land that big punch. There's probably still some growth that is needed there. And I think this fight is going to show us a little bit as far as where Ajagba is and what the prospects are for Stephen Shaw as well. So it's hard to make a pick just from an overall perspective because I haven't seen, I don't recall at least seeing Shaw, but I do think if you just look at everything at face value, it seems to be a fairly even matchup or 50-50 type matchup from my standpoint.
Yeah, cool. That sounds like a good matchup. I'll probably try and catch some highlights of that one the next day. And just also noticed that Abraham Nova is on the undercard. I know he lost last time out. Was it an upset loss?
Rabisi Ramirez,
Ramirez,
one punch
yes.
knockout.
Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was necessarily an upset,
but
I would say Rabisi Ramirez made a statement to show why he has all the hype.
Yeah, so I guess that's about a bounce back fight for him against Adam Lopez, 16-3.
Yeah, there's Blue Nose. He's known for dropping Oscar Valdez.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I hadn't actually seen the entirety of this card, but it looked pretty decent. But yeah, I think that should be a pretty good fight right there. Adam Lopez versus Abraham Nova. I think Lopez will certainly test Nova in terms of we'll see how that knockout loss has affected him, if any, in terms of his recovery. So I think that's a pretty decent matchup right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Guido Vianello, he's going to be taking on Jonathan Rice, who's a veteran heavyweight who at times, he's put on some displays that kind of shown that he can upset the apple cart a bit. And I thought that Vito lost to Kingsley eBay, that draw that's listed on his record, which happened in the bubble, I believe it was, in 2020, the top-ranked bubble. And I remember seeing that fight. Vito, he had some fanfare in Italy, and he had some backing from Top Rank, of course. And I think he was a pretty solid amateur. And, of course, if he turns out to be as good as they expect, I think, he'd be a big piece of the Italian market there for Top Rank. But that being said, there's still some questions regarding him as well. So I think Jonathan Rice, while he's not sort of the marquee type heavyweight, I think he has enough to at least give us some answers to some questions on Guido Vianello for this particular at this particular stage.
Yeah. Okay, did you want to add anything to that, Alex, or shall we move things along?
No, yeah, real quick, Johnny, I can quit my job now, Rice. Yeah, definitely in support of him. If I remember that, he said that after he beat Michael Coffey the second time on New Year's last year. And a name to take a look for, to definitely keep your eyes on, is Brian Norman Jr. He has gained a lot of steam because he's 22 now, I believe. When he was 20 years old, he was called into camp to go ahead and spar Terrence Bud Crawford. And he left with very, very good reviews. There was rumors saying that he hurt, that he made Bud stumble. He downplayed it. He said that basically that it was just great work, and no one could believe a 20-year-old was keeping up with the pound for pound, fighter and the number one fighter in the world, as some people see him as. So yeah, definitely keep a lookout on that. And of course, Shushu Carrington. I know Josh and I constantly mention these type of U.S. prospects, but he is supposed to be a guy that is going to be a future champion, 126, 130 pounds. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, he has looked very good, and I've heard good things about Brian Norman Jr. as well. I've seen Haven Brady Jr. before. He looks pretty decent. Then, of course, I guess it's worth mentioning Floyd Diaz. He's going to be fighting on this card as well.
Cash flow.
And he has the flash. He has some pretty solid athleticism. He's skilled, of course, but we'll see how he continues to develop. I remember he was a young cat in the Mayweather camp when he was a bit younger, and was coming up in that camp, if I'm not mistaken, out in Las Vegas at that gym. And he was highly regarded or whatever. And so far, he has looked the part. But certainly there are some aspects of him where I think he gets a little bit in love with his power, or what he perceives as his power, or the power that he has. And that can throw him off a bit. So we'll see how he does against Edwin Rodriguez, who I had to look back at. And Edwin Rodriguez, he's been in with some pretty decent names. He's a pretty solid guy. So it should be an interesting test for Floyd Diaz, who I know they have high hopes for as well.
All right, cool. Sounds like there's quite a few decent prospects to look out for there.